The 7 things you should be talking about today. Number 7.
Do you guys like drugs? Well, apparently so does the Alabama legislature. Or maybe they're on drugs. I don't know. But there was an attempt to ban Delta 8, a hemp-derived THC product sold in convenience stores with no oversight generally. But that has failed in the Alabama State Senate with a bill that was offered up by State Senator Tim Melson. Now, that particular bill would have made it a Schedule I substance, similar to heroin and stuff like that. But that was rejected by the Senate Health Committee with a split vote. So they decided to go a little bit of a different way. What if we legalize it and tax it? What are we doing? Why are we constantly trying to figure out a way to put more drugs into our state? Can someone explain to me what exactly the Alabama legislature is doing with all this drug stuff? What is their deal? Are they high?
Number 6.
Blank this. A bill offered up by State Representative Alan Treadway would allow law enforcement to arrest people for using abusive language, obscene gestures, or refusing to move 25 feet away from first responders after being told to leave. This was approved by a House committee as part of the GOP public safety push. Now, civil rights groups and Democrats like Representative Chris England argue that it is too broad, which I would tend to agree that it is. It is a real issue when it comes to free speech. Everything except moving away from a scene of an incident for first responders, I have a serious problem with. You should be able to cuss at cops and do all this stuff. You shouldn't do it, but you should be able to. I don't like it. I don't like this at all.
Number 5.
Because the media and their Democrats cannot build anything, they must destroy absolutely everything. And that's what they're working on doing right now. Now, they disagree with Elon Musk, and because he owns Tesla, anyone that owns a Tesla is a Nazi. So they're now doxing everyone who owns a Tesla. They created a map called DogeQuest. It exposed the names, address, and phone numbers and emails of Tesla owners across the United States. They also point out where Doge employees are working and Tesla showrooms. The cursor on the website was a Molotov cocktail used to signal their intent. This is domestic terrorism. I mean, it really is. And the people who put this out there should be arrested. They should be arrested for encouraging domestic terrorism. Enough of this. Do something about it.
Number 4.
Governor Kay Ivey has signed a ban on Glock switches. Go get me a switch off the tree, honey. Anyway, that doesn't sound like Kay Ivey at all. But anyway, a ban on Glock switches, which make handguns into automatic weapons. Even though this is already illegal on the federal level, I think I've come around on this. I think I've come around on it. The Democrat-led effort will allegedly empower Alabama law enforcement against rising gang crime in cities where local leadership said these devices are driving high crime rates, which is not true, by the way. Okay, just keep that in mind. It's not true. But it will give local prosecutors the ability to charge people with having these Glock switches, which are already illegal federally. I've come around on it. They removed the red flag stuff from this bill. I'm okay with it.
Number 3.
President Donald Trump spoke with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and then claimed progress towards a 30-day partial ceasefire with Russia. Now, this is good. This is good. We are moving in the right direction here. Again, Donald Trump has been pretty adamant about what he wants here, and it's peace. He doesn't care how he gets it, what it looks like. There's a new wrinkle in all of this that America's like, yeah, but what if we took your nuclear power plants? Russia invades Ukraine, and we take their minerals and nuclear power plants. That's amazing. But there was a 2-hour call of Putin where he said, okay, we'll stop attacking infrastructure and stuff like that. And they now have somewhat of an agreement. Russia says it never attacked infrastructure after that conversation, so they're disputing that. There are going to be more talks in Saudi Arabia next week as the world potentially moves towards peace.
Number 2.
A small number of protesters rallied at the Alabama State House against Alabama's latest attempt at immigration reform. Really got to wonder why there aren't any immigration rallies happening all over the state of Alabama. I guess they're too busy being mad about Elon Musk and, I don't know, Palestinians or something. But they are complaining that keeping track of immigrant workers and criminalizing travel across state lines with undocumented people is unfair. On the latter, an activist described trafficking immigrants across state lines and then said that no one should be punished for it. Imagine this. There's a quote here. Imagine this. You drive a Localica right next to Auburn across the river to Columbia, Georgia, just to pick up your abuelita so that she can visit with the grandkids for the weekend. On your way back from Opelika, you get pulled over, arrested, accused of smuggling an immigrant. Well, that's what you're doing.
Today's number 1 thing you should be talking about today.
Yes, more fake town halls. Yes, there's one that will be held locally inside the state of Alabama, 6 p.m. on Saturday. What a perfect time, 6 p.m. on Saturday. That'll be happening in Athens, and unfortunately, I already told people I'm going to go there. I thought it'd be at a reasonable hour, but 6 p.m. on Saturday it is. Indivisible is targeting U.S. Representative Dale Strong, a Republican out of Monrovia in the 5th Congressional District. But another town hall was put on by another dumb mob as they are attempting to appear like their Astroturf antics are grassroots. This is kind of silly. The clown this week, or today, was U.S. Representative Mike Flood. I guess I would say the clowns today. U.S. Representative Mike Flood and U.S. Representative Harriet Hagman out of Nebraska and Wyoming. So that's where they are right now. At both of these things, the crowds basically attacked them and screamed at them and declared that they are dumb and the people in the crowd are smart. And even when they agree with them, boo. Flood stood at a podium like a dope and faced over an hour of malcontents screaming at him about President Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and their pet issues. The crowd was coordinated by Move On and Indivisible. They did not like the answers when he continued to support Trump policies and Elon Musk's Doge. Protesters shouted, "Tax the rich," which, again, guys, not sure screaming "tax the rich" really signals that these are a bunch of right-wingers who are mad about Donald Trump. It kind of undercuts the made-up narrative that this is a Republican member's core constituency and not a group of liberals hell-bent on getting cable news TV time. I'm starting not to buy your argument here. It seems like you're being somewhat disingenuous. Maybe. Possibly. Harriet Hagman laughed in their face. So, well, she's a clown for doing this town hall. At least it was kind of funny. She kind of laughed in their faces and said, "You guys are dumb." I mean, she didn't use those exact words, but that was basically the gist of it. She laughed in their face and said, "Look, I got supporters here. I got elected with like 72% of the vote. What do you think we're gonna do? You think we're just gonna say, oh well, I guess you guys are mad. We'll give you everything you want," which is exactly what they want. But I don't foresee that happening, and probably for good reason, because they have actual voters they need to pay attention to. So the fake town hall stuff continues, and I will continue talking about it. There are tons of protests all over the state of Alabama this week, and these people need to get jobs. Because how do you go to all these things? I'm thinking about going to one of them on Saturday evening, and I'm thinking, I have stuff to do. But off I go anyway for you. And for me, all I ask is that you give me 10 questions, and I'll answer in about 10 minutes at the end of this program. 205-545-9950. You can get in here right now and ask those questions for 10 with him. Tori will be with us to answer those questions. And we'll talk with Sam Gavan, state senator. He's been in the news a lot lately. He's right in the middle of the governor's race, the Tommy Tuberville stuff. We'll talk with him in a bit as well. So keep it locked right here. I am Dale Jackson, and this is the fastest hour of radio anywhere on your radio dial.
You're listening to News and Views with Dale Jackson